I usually have an idea of how I want to start videos. I have like a topic usually, and then I'll just let the Holy Spirit speak through me. But I just have a few like points that I want to touch on and then explore with you guys, and we'll come up with the title later. But it seems to me like healthy relationship dynamics are very misunderstood nowadays. They're severely taken for granted, and it seems as though intersexual dynamics as a whole is something that many people do not comprehend. And I want to remedy this, and I want to approach this from a psychological and spiritual perspective, because my aim with all of my work is to revolutionize psychology and spirituality. And I want to achieve this by providing different kinds of insights that maybe people haven't thought about before or haven't considered. So, the more a man is in his masculine energy, and the more a woman is in her feminine energy, if they come together, they feed off of one another. The man has a heightened sense of masculinity, and the woman has a heightened sense of femininity. And it's very apparent when they come together. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's likely that you've not matured to the point in which you could have matured to, or could be maturing to, because everybody that knows what I'm talking about understands exactly what I'm saying right now. But for a lot of people out there, and even a lot of people that are well off, okay, over the past few months, I've had the great fortune of meeting with a variety of different successful individuals. And it's very ironic because working with successful individuals, they show a different kind of appreciation for the kind of work that you do. And, you know, it seems to me as though people that are broken in their mindsets, they want to extract as much as they can, whereas the people that are successful, they want to give as much as they can. And sometimes, though, they don't know exactly how to do that. They'll give to the point to where they don't know if they're giving too much of themselves or not. But for the most part, they have a pretty generally good understanding of what a sharing exchange looks like. A lot of people that are broken in their mindsets, they don't know what it's like to have a sharing aspect. Okay, they don't know what it's like to share in the relationship that you're in. They don't understand that you're just giving and receiving. And if as a man, you can give the woman a heightened spiritually present experience, the more attracted she's going to be to you. Why is this the case? Well, psychologically speaking, if a man can be the portal to the mind's wonder world for a woman, because when you realize that you're not really trying to have status or looks or anything like that with women, you're just trying to understand her psychology and how her imagination works, things change a lot for you in regard to healthy relationship dynamics. And so with the women, though, when a woman knows that insofar as a man can, big cotton thing, don't think there's a little cotton tree here, but insofar as a man can expand the portal of her mind, so too can a healthy woman give her nourishing aspects of herself to pour into the feminine energy that just pours into a man, where he can extrapolate and do and mold however the woman, whatever kind of energy the woman is bringing, the man can mold that. Think about the in the Eastern philosophies and traditions, there's Shakti and Shiva. Shakti is the feminine force that rises from the tailbone in the Kundalini awakening philosophies and understandings. I'm not saying I practice this. I'm just saying this is information. I'm always grounded in Christ, but I'm very open to understanding these different kinds of concepts because I think it's very important to. And I think it's not necessarily knowledge that we ought to be striving for, but it is a sense of knowing that we should strive for. Now, with that being said, Shakti is the feminine force, right? It's just pure chaos. It's pure energy. There's no calmness to it. It's everywhere. It's beautiful, but it's everywhere. And I've had women, I remember this one woman in particular. She said, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that my mind goes 100,000 miles an hour around you all the time." And I just looked at her and I kind of smirked a little bit and I just said, "I can handle it." And just the way that she responded told me that she felt so safe and comfortable. That was me using my words to like mold her, right? And that's what a man can do. A godly man can mold a woman into whatever the man needs her to be, because the woman was made to help man, and a woman that understands this, she wants to do that. I didn't actually think that this was real up until a few years ago. I didn't actually think that women wanted to help me. It was only until I was about 23, and I'm 28 now, almost 29, and it was only when I was about 23, 24 when I realized, oh, there are good women that actually want to like help me. This is nice. This is great. This is fantastic. But I didn't understand to what extent they would be willing to help me. I've had women to this day help me in ways that I wouldn't have been able to go closer to God and grow closer to God if it weren't for these women. In a strange way, beauty helps you get closer to God in one way or another, because you're either going to fall into temptation or you're going to be able to just simply appreciate what God built and what God made. Like, there's really few things more beautiful than the female body in my experience and just in my perspective. The woman is so delicate. She's so fortuitous, and she's so eternal in just the realm of spiritualness to her. Women are way more spiritual than men usually. They just don't understand why. But a man who's spiritual, man, there's nothing like that. So a man who is spiritual that can have a presence for a woman, he can provide the space for a woman. He can give space for the woman to like be her chaotic self within the boundaries of whatever spiritual force that this man is offering. Because a man is basically saying, and not so many words, but it's like, woman, here's this box of freedom. You can do whatever you want within the confines of this box of freedom. But if you cross those boundaries, I cannot be responsible for you. In fact, if you cross those boundaries, I don't even want to be responsible for you. If you operate in this, like, think about the Garden of Eden, right? If you operate within these walls of the garden, let's call it a garden of freedom. I don't like the box of freedom. That sounds weird. Let's call it a garden of freedom. If you're operating in the garden of freedom and you're in the confines of the walls in that garden of freedom, you can do whatever you want, woman. But if you leave those walls, like, I can't help you. Sorry. But if you're going to stay in these walls, I will protect you. I will guide you. If any monsters come, I'm going to attack them. I'm going to take care of this. We're going to show these people who's boss. And the woman is like, oh, great, fantastic. I'll put some flowers here, and I'll put some plants there, and I'll put a fountain there, and you get the point, right? So the Garden of Freedom is what the man who is spiritually aware offers to the woman. And it is in the great interest of a woman who is under the protection of the man to not step outside those confines of freedom, because she's going to fall into temptation or into the gates of hell. Women are naturally self-sabotagers. So if a man can provide a garden of freedom to the woman, he's giving her this open-handed, like, look, you can do and go wherever you want. Like, you have the freedom to leave. But if you're going to be here, this is how it's going to need to go. And she can choose whether she wants to or not. See, the thing about a masculine man is he's offering a woman a choice. Whereas the beta, the one that wants to just give in to the female and put her on a pedestal, he wants to be chosen. He doesn't want to give her the option to choose. Now, of course, there's the choosing signal thing. There's, what in the world is that dude doing? I hope that's not too loud on the camera, but because we'll just keep going here. I'm on a roll. I don't want people to, we're going forward no matter what. So what was I saying? The man, when he gives that woman the offer, like, or he tells her, like, make me an offer. Remember James Bond? I think it's Quantum of Solace, when the woman is like driving and such, and at one point they're like getting chased by the bad guys, and they like make some like sexual innuendo jokes or whatnot, and James Bond says, like she says, well, what are you gonna do or whatever? He's like, I don't know, make me an offer. So he's telling the woman what to do in a way that's fun and exciting to her, but also provides like a sense of molding her, right? This is why women respond really well to orders. And I don't want to say that in like a negative way. I don't want to say that in a way that like counteracts or contradicts the main point here, but a man who can mold a woman and shape her into who he needs her to be is going to be a happy man and an even happier woman. If a woman is very happy and the man is happy, things are usually going to work out really good. Really, really good. And that is a weird thing for a lot of men to understand, is they think that, well, isn't the woman like, well, yeah, but how do you make the woman very happy? You don't. You make her happy by not making her happy all the time. That's what makes her happy. A man that has a backbone, a man that can say no, a man that can be capable of being able to walk away if he's disrespected, because a man that is godly, if he's disrespected, he doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't punish the woman, he doesn't try to condemn her or anything. He just doesn't give that woman attention. Why would he need to? So the best thing for a woman to do then is, if you do disrespect a man, you have to show him that you're real. You've got to show him that you're actually about him. Whatever it is that he needs, anticipate his needs, anticipate his wants. And a woman like that is way worthwhile. A woman like that is worthwhile because she's sinking into her intuition. She's maybe not sinking in is the right phrasing. She's being initiated and returning to her intuition. Because a woman's intuition is powerful. But a man who is godly, his instinct is going to outmatch a woman's intuition every single time, if it's a godly man. But that's not to say that women cannot be capable and they're not intuitive, that they're definitely intuitive. But it's a certain kind of frame in which things operate and the way in which things work. But this is really the points that I wanted to hit home on this video. I suppose I'm still going to have a little bit of a interesting time trying to name this video. I'll think of a name afterward, but I had some thoughts that I just wanted to share, and I felt like it was worth sharing tonight, simply because these have been on my mind. And you know, I've talked to a lot of different kinds of people recently, and even me myself, like not just with business, but you know, romantically with women that I've talked to recently. There's only one that's really standing out to me, and she has these kinds of traits. And you know, I think that's all I'm going to say about that. But the point is like, I want to reinforce attention toward and invest attention and resources toward that which is good, true, and beautiful. And I think that this topic, talking about these things, is exactly that. So with all that being said, I hope that this message was useful and insightful for you, and peace be with you all. Until next time.